Morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Mr. Cerrone, Mr. Rob here again to take you through our, I guess it's your second true lesson with your virtual learning. Hope you guys are having a good day.
Hope you guys had a great day yesterday, and hopefully there weren't any questions on what we assigned yesterday. But if there were, you need to let us know through our Google Docs, okay?
All right. So yesterday we talked about the coordinate grids and the coordinate pairs, how the x-axis comes before the y. So today what we're going to do is we are going to explore how we can take something like a building of Onifix cubes and how we can turn those into coordinate pairs. So this question up top, you may be able to read it, you may not be able to. It says, what do you notice about the first three arrangements in the sequence below? So here's what I want you to do. Push pause, just take a look. What do you see? All right, so hopefully you've pushed pause. Welcome back to us. Mrs. Cerrone and I are just going to share kind of the things that we notice. The one thing that I notice is that the blocks are increasing each arrangement. Is there anything that you notice about the arrangements?
Well, when I look at them, I see we don't have a solid bottom, but if you take a look at the second one, solid bottom. Take a look at the third one, solid bottom. It's two solid bottoms, two layers. So I'm looking at that. I noticed it, and then the two at the top.
So some of you are probably thinking, well, hold on a second. How do we know that there's a piece back there? If you look down at this picture here, this is the back view of arrangement 2, and I've even constructed one of these things here. So I'll bring this closer to your video screen here. So this is what the front looks like. You can see here's the top, there are those two, and if I turn this around, there's the back view. There is a piece there. So Mr. Cerrone was saying about that solid bottom, this is what that bottom looks like. And the last thing that I notice about this is arrangement 1, there's just one layer. Arrangement 2, it has 2 different layers. 3 has 3 different layers. So what I want you to think about, and we'll push pause again here in just a second, is what is arrangement 4 and 5 going to look like? So go ahead and push pause. All right, so after you've had maybe a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes to think about that, what you probably were thinking is, well, if arrangement 2 had 2 layers, arrangement 3 had 3 layers, arrangement 4 is, what do you think, Mr. Cerrone?
I'm going with 4 layers.
4 layers, absolutely. So here's our layer, and we're going to put it underneath the one that we had just had. So this is arrangement 4. We can count the 4 layers there. We still have just those 2 pieces on the top. We also asked you to think about how many are going to be in arrangement 5. Mr. Cerrone, how many layers?
I'm going with 5.
5, absolutely. So here's what arrangement 5 is going to look like. So if we take a look at the total number of pieces, arrangement number 1 is going to have 2. Remember, this is not just about coordinate points, this is also about volume. Arrangement number 2, which was this one here, Mrs. Cerrone pointed out it had that bottom of 4 pieces plus the 2 on top, so that one's going to have a total of 6. And then we had arrangement 3, which is going to have a total of 10. Okay, so what I want you to picture now in your mind, we'll push pause in just a second, how many are going to be in arrangement 4 and how many are going to be in arrangement 5. And when you come back, we're going to move over to our next slide to help us work through that. Take us to the next slide, please, Mr. Cerrone. Up in that corner. Perfect.
Here?
Yep, clear the ink. There we go. Perfect. Right, up to the top. All right, so this is a really small drawing of what we had just worked with. We already had said the first arrangement had 2 cubes. The second arrangement had 6. The third arrangement had 10. And what we need you to do at this time is you should have your student book open. That's your yellow one. And we should be on page 206. So if you don't have that out right now, pause the video, get that out to help you out, because we'll take you through this entire page so you know what's happening. All right, so we've did arrangements 4 and 5. Mrs. Cerrone, do you want to take over and tell us how many cubes we're going to have to build those?
Well, when we had 2 over here, we added a base of 4, so we went from 2 to 6, we added 4. We went from 6 to another base of 4, added 4. So I'm thinking that everyone should think here, adding 4 more to this, we're going to have 14. And then we're going to add 4 more, we're going to have 18.
All right, fantastic. So maybe some of you are starting to see a pattern. We've added 4 each time. that makes sense because, as Mr. Soroni is pointing out, we are adding another layer of 4 in each one. All right, fantastic. Can you scroll us down there just so I can erase that? Sorry. There we go. Okay, so in your question 2 and 3, what Mr. Soroni and I are going to do here is we're going to take you through each of the ordered pairs, the x, y combinations, and then we're going to graph them and show you what that looks like. Okay? So for arrangement number 1, if I read question 2, it says right in here, arrangement 1 would be written as 1, 2. 1 is going to be the arrangement number, and that's going to be your x coordinate, 1 here. 2 is going to be the total number of cubes that we used. The total number of cubes that was in arrangement number 1 is 2. So we have 1, 2. Arrangement 2 uses 6 cubes. So arrangement number, number of cubes, x, y. That's our coordinate points. Arrangement number 3 was 10 cubes. Arrangement 4 was 14. And 5 was 18. So make sure you fill those coordinate points in for each of the arrangements. Is there anything to add about those coordinate points?
Just got to make sure that you know the arrangements first, and then total number of cubes is second.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the arrangement cubes and the number of cubes on this graph. You'll notice that the x-axis is labeled the arrangement of cubes. So that's where we pulled that from. So that's our x label. And the y label is the total number of cubes. Now we've only done arrangements 1 through 5, but on the graph we're going to be doing coordinates 6 and 7 as well. So we're going to have to use what we know about the pattern that started to develop in order to help us through that. All right? So, sit back down here. The first arrangement that we had is 1, 2. So my arrangement of cubes is number 1. That's x value. And then I go up to the 2 with the y value. So I put in my dot there. One thing that I think is important, Ms. Soroni, would you agree that when we put a coordinate point on there, we should label what it is? You agree?
Yeah, absolutely, so we know what you're looking at.
And so I put the arrangement number next to it. Want to do the second one here?
Second one, we got a 2, 6. Remember, arrangement cube, so we go to 2. We go up 6. Put our dot here, and we label it. And if you take a look, we label it within the parentheses, so we have 2, 6. And I put parentheses around it, so I know where it's at.
Perfect. The third arrangement then, arrangement 3, total number of cubes is 10. So my x is 3, y is 10. And I label that as well. And remember, you're following along doing this while we're doing this with you.
And then we go to the next one, we go 4, up 14. We're here, we label it, parentheses, there we go.
Okay, and one thing that some of you might want to do right now is start connecting this with a line. We're not connecting it with a line because there is no 1.5 arrangement. A line indicates that there are numbers along that, but we are just putting individual coordinate points along here. Okay, so I'm doing arrangement 5, the last one that we for sure know. Arrangement 5 is going to have 18 cubes. So sometimes what I like to do when I get into these really big situations, I put one finger on 5, one finger on the 18, and then I match them up. And where I match them up, that's where my coordinate point ends up. So 5, 18. Mrs. Soroni, you got to do one that we don't know where it is yet.
So what I'm looking at right now is I'm thinking, all right, what's the next pattern? So I got two coordinates here, and I'm on arrangement 6, so I know that's my x coordinate. And what pattern did I figure out? I figured that every time we had a new one, we added 4 to it. So we have 18 plus 4. Everybody knows what that is. 22. That is my next coordinate that I'm going to go. So I go 6, and then I go up to 22, and there we go. 6, 22. And I dotted it in.
All right.
All right. What are you going to do there?
Excellent. So I guess I have the last arrangement. So arrangement number 7. So I have my x coordinate coming first, my y coordinate coming second. Remember, x is left to right, y is up and down. So I know I'm on arrangement 7, and back here, the first number in the pair was the arrangement number. So that's going to be 7, my x value. And Mrs. Soroni again has talked about this pattern. We're adding 4 each time. So 22 plus 4, that's going to give us 26. So our final arrangement, arrangement 7, is going to be 7, 26, and we are at the uppermost right point of our graph. And you should have 7 labeled coordinate points on your graph along with ours. All right? So your job for the rest of the day is...
Your assignment is going to be, you're going to, this was page 206.
Mhm.
You're going to finish page 207.
Yep.
Take a look at that.
So here's page 207. Coordinate dots. What you're doing here is you're going to be making a picture out of the coordinate points. So they give you the first one. Make sure you do these in order or you're going to end up with a really strange looking picture. All right? So you've got to do those in order. So we just did page 206 together. You're going to do page 207 independently.
And that's it for today. That's it. No home connections. And hopefully you guys will take a picture of that, send it to us so we know you have it done. And I think we're going to sign off.
Yeah, so once you send that to us, we'll give you some feedback on it. Please, again, make sure, however your teachers indicated they should ask you, that you should be asking them questions, reach out to us. We're here to help.
Have a great day.
All right, see you
Be
guys.
safe.